catch individual stocks, right, in while they are at the start of a bull phase. So the next company that we're talking about, Apollo Hospitals, for example, in the peak of the lockdown, if you had bought Apollo Hospitals, you would have created a lot of wealth for yourself. If the director can just pull up a 2-year chart of Apollo Hospitals, would be very helpful. Of course, the 52-week high that Apollo Hospitals hit was 5,930. It's come off a little bit from there, but just look at a 12-month chart, 60% rally and more in the last 2 years as well. Now, Apollo will become a Nifty company by the 31st of March. So it goes into the big league. To discuss the outlook and whether non-COVID and international medical travel are picking up, we're now joined by Sangita Reddy, the joint MD of Apollo Hospitals. Sangita, good morning and thanks a lot for joining us. If you can just set the tone for this interview by, talking about how occupancies are now. Thankfully, the worst of the COVID situation is behind us, perhaps. But how are you reading the environment?
So clearly, many individuals who were planning for elective surgery had postponed them. So occupancies have definitely gone up. We're upward of 65% across the group. Many locations looking at 75 and 80%. And this is from the local patients, but also from March 27th, when the skies open up a bit more. We're also having a significant expectation of our international customers coming back. And here I do want to spend a bit of time focusing on international medical value travel, because that's what I think everybody is talking about, India's power and India's capability in international travel. The overall global market is about 44 billion, and India is, ranked number 10. But the power that India has across this spectrum, in terms of good quality doctors, very competitive pricing, can enable us to really grow this sector. I think in 2019, we had about, for the whole country, we had about 7 lakh customers come in from different parts of the world. Apollo has always been a forerunner in this. And today, I'm at the Apollo Proton Center, which is one of its kind in this part of the world. And we have more than 50% of our patients coming from different parts of the world because of the quality of the treatment, the quality of the infrastructure, as well as the competitive pricing. So I think MVT is going to be very strong. I also do want to add that I'm very happy that the government is focusing on this as well. The health minister has had a special meeting. The tourism minister is looking at this. So I think you will see this entire sector growing for the whole country.
Ma'am, hi, good morning. Prashant here. Just to talk about what is on everyone's mind when we talk about Apollo Hospitals nowadays, which is, of course, the transaction at Apollo Health Co. The 4,000 plus physical pharmacies, the e-pharmacy business. Could you give us some outline of where that process is at? We had reported some time back, our colleague Nisha had reported that the deal with Amazon was a precursor and private equity funds may pick up 20%. At a $3 billion valuation. Could you give us some idea about this? Where is it at?
So Prashant, as you know, I think the whole world is going digital, and a focused initiative around retail being closer to the customer and digital was a very significant move for Apollo. We have moved forward. We currently have a significant number of downloads, large number of customers transacting every day, and a very powerful integrated platform that has come together in a phygital world. In terms of the transaction, as soon as something is done, we will be very happy to announce it to you.
Are you, just to kind of press on that point, I think the Ken put out a story on the 7th of March, and I'm just quoting from that story. I don't know if you want to respond to this. This is coming in, they quoted the promoter of a large corporate hospital. And the quote is this: I know for a fact that the two, that is Apollo Health Co. and Pharmacy, are locked in a kind of a situation. Pharmacy wants Apollo to raise money and get a benchmark valuation so it can justify its valuation and list. Apollo wants Pharmacy to list first so that it can say it's worth the same amount. I mean, I don't know if you want to respond to this.
No, I think that this is an environment that is a creation of media, of markets, of companies, of investors. So at Apollo, we're very focused on good quality work for our customers. I was here to talk about the power of medical value travel, and I will continue to reiterate that whether it's the latest technology, the best doctors, a good operating process, and strong market outreach to bring local as well as international patients within the Apollo umbrella is really what we're completely focused on. And at the same time, I think good quality work attracts good quality investors.
Okay. At the end of the day, I mean, as you said, good quality work brings investors. So what kind of growth are we looking at? I think you targeted about 20% compounded growth in your diagnostics business. 1,000 crore revenue target in a 3-year period is what you had set out for earlier. But given the kind of strong response that you've seen there, you think you could better that number?
So I don't think I should give futuristic. Let me just assure you to say that the entire team is super committed to do everything that the market needs and everything that our customers need. So let's leave it at that for now. No forward-looking statements, but just a continuous commitment of high quality.
In terms of the timelines, when will the slump sale of Apollo HealthCo be completed? And, can you give us any more timelines on what the way forward could look like in terms of any kind of tie-ups or strategic sales that you're looking at?
At this point of time, this is all that we can say. Thank you.
Okay, all right. What about the overall business? I mean, you were talking about how, the occupancies have picked up. Have you recovered in terms of overall occupancies back to pre-COVID levels? And what are we trending at in, say, the first half of FY23?
This is exactly what I said earlier, that our occupancies had moved up to the 75% range in many of our locations. And what is really interesting and important is that international patients are now looking to come back. We've been in touch with them on digital. Our CRM system is very powerfully set up. So as soon as the flights start opening, and also we're working with the government to ensure that their reception in airports are good, their visa process is streamlined on behalf of Apollo as well as on behalf of all the organizations. So whether it's CII, FICCI, Nat Health, everybody believes that it's important for India as a country to be able to tap the potential of the global traveler. And from this perspective, I would just say that this market is a significant one. And India numbers in 2019 was close to 8 billion. It is important for us to not just come back to that number, but really surpass that number this year. And every effort is being made on multiple fronts to look at that. We're also looking at strategic tie-ups with hospitals abroad to ensure that they can, very easily and seamlessly refer patients for high-end care. Again, like I had said, the Proton, which is the building I'm in today. So proton therapy is a very powerful and most advanced treatment for cancer. And the Apollo proton therapy machine is the only one of its kind in India, in Chennai. And we have a large number of international as well as patients from all over the country on treatment, and the results have been extremely gratifying.
Reddy, any word on booster shots for all? Because right now India only allows booster shots for 60 plus and I think healthcare workers. I think there was a report that perhaps it's being mulled for everyone. I say that because once again there's been a bit of a rise in cases, especially in the eastern countries. So it's always better to be prepared, right? So in that sense, any thoughts on that?
So that's an absolutely very good point, and I agree with you entirely that it's important for us to open up booster shots for everyone, because as we know, what is critical is to not just have been double vaccinated, but to ensure that your antibody level is high so that if you're exposed, you can fight the infection and make sure you don't get COVID positive. From this perspective, we do have an expectation that very shortly booster shots will be opened up for the entire country, and our recommendation is that people should test their antibody level. If the level is low, definitely go and get your booster shots, and this can be done from the government or in a private sector. But this is important from an overall economy perspective as well. We do not want COVID to rise again, so we should go ahead and propagate the messaging on the importance of booster shots and keeping antibody levels high.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sangita, for joining us, and all the best for the future. Well, that's the word coming in from Apollo Hospitals. The stock enters the Nifty on the 31st of March. We'll do one thing. We will take a quick break on that note. On the other side, we'll connect with Tushar Kavedia of IRB Infrastructure to discuss their February toll collections and the business outlook. Stay tuned.
A vision becomes a milestone when it helps